This episode of Zombies2Aliens is brought to you by the cool and refreshing flavor of Crush.
Not actually endorsed by Crush.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm your moderator, James P. Sullivan, also known as Mr. Brightside. And with me, as always, is let's go to the other one who has a video chat and who has a different hairstyle today, Mr. Onesto Stubbs.
Hello.
And this is, of course, because he was brought back into the world because of his rebirth that was on the Galaxoid and Nebula podcast.
Yes, I guess you come in this world without any hair, and apparently the bottom part of my chin grows hair faster than the top part of my head.
Alright, and then with him, as always, his spouse and his significant other, his actual heterosexual life mate, Melissa, the real Black Widow.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, Val? Any more Renaissance fairs, or done with that for now?
There's a couple in California, but yeah, we only go to California to visit you guys, so.
But nothing you're a queen of out here, just the queen of the biggest one.
I'm just the queen of the night.
Oh, even better.
Like Whitney Houston, except crack is whack, so.
Yeah. I like to call myself the Bishop of Sunrise.
Actually, I've got a new title. It's Duchess Honey Trap.
Oh, you win. You win.
It's her steampunk name.
Well, Trey has one too, so I'm not alone.
Okay, then also with us as always, and there are no strings on him, is Mr. Ultron himself, Mr. Tony, also known as Kirk 80s.
What was the first pseudonym you gave me? Mr. what?
Mr. Ultron.
Oh, cool. Yay.
There's no
Yay.
strings on you.
No, not currently.
Yes.
Dang it. What a weird introduction.
How's it going, sir? Any watching more 90s, shows right now? Cartoon shows, anything like that?
I was watching some Keenan and Kel earlier.
Oh, yeah. I saw on Facebook, on the Zombies2Aliens Facebook, we were following someone, I forget who, but they posted that Kel is alive and well and still likes orange soda.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's apparently also like a Christian, like hardcore, but that's not a problem. Just saying, like, it's
really?
interesting, like the way
That's
his life flipped around. Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to happen is for there to be a Mystery Men 2, where he comes back as the Invisible Boy.
That would be awesome. I'm down for that.
Ben Stiller,
That'd be cool.
get on it. Alright, so, and then also with us, as always, is Mr. Tide, the captain of Not Your America, Tide Anuba, so also known as Tyler.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
How's it going? Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Oh, I was going to do that, but I used it before.
Yes.
And
So you're
I
not
guess,
imitating the mating call of the humans.
I guess if we brought up Toy Story 4,
Oh, God!
which is
Oh
going to
my
happen.
gosh,
That's a
yeah.
thing.
Okay, so basically this podcast, this Big Group Zombies2Aliens official podcast, is we're going to go over all this entertainment news that's been happening, one of which was, of course, Toy Story 4, but I would like to start off with, as a Mr. Simpson fan myself, I wanted to start off with Simpsons-orama, if
It's
we could.
Isn't it just Simpsorama?
I'm sorry, I mispronounced. Simpsorama.
Also known as the greatest, shortest story ever seen.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So yeah, Mr. Kirk 80s as fellow Futurama and Simpsons fan and a man who constantly quotes Bender saying that's using your ass. How did you feel about the Simpsorama?
I thought it was really good. Obviously, I've already made my reservation about it, and it's too short, but I don't know, I guess how else were they supposed to do it? They're limited to the half-hour format, seeing as how they didn't want to make it into a TV movie, which maybe wouldn't have worked out as well if they had done that. But I liked all the little references, like Seymour, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
I also liked, I really liked that that the writers were able to poke fun of themselves, like they did during the Futurama, or not Futurama, but during the Simpsons / Family Guy one, where they said that, like, for example, Benders is essentially just a robot version of Homer. So I like that they were able to, like, do that, you know, like, yeah, we kind of ripped ourselves off.
Yeah, they
But
definitely. What I thought you were going for was in the beginning where the Futurama ship flew off and it had the little tagline that it said a show without episodes teams up with a show without ideas.
yeah, that's like awesome. That they're able to, like, be honest about that. That's cool.
Yeah, and then being a huge Family Guy fan yourself, how do you feel about the comparison between this crossover episode with the Family Guy one?
You know, shoot, I'm not sure if they can compare, because they are, even though they do have the link, which is The Simpsons, of course. I think they're completely different stories in the terms of the reasoning or the rationale behind putting these two shows together. I think you pretty much summed it up perfectly, saying that, you know, Futurama is canceled and they decided to make a Simpsons crossover because The Simpsons has done everything, as the South Park episode said once. But Family Guy and Simpsons, I think, were more of a blending, because maybe many people felt that there was too much similarities, so maybe they had to go out and put them side by side to show how different they are, the humor that is, because, you know, Family Guy is more raw and more dirty, whereas you could call Simpsons more innocent. So maybe the rationale behind putting the two shows together was to show, you know, there's a difference, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And they also kind of, I think The Simpsons kind of did the Family Guy crossover one for ratings, almost, because Family Guy is doing better than The Simpsons rating rise, I feel. And it seemed like the Simpson humor kind of meshed with the Family Guy humor, because Homer was doing some pretty outrageous stuff in that episode.
That is true. It seems like maybe they brought up the humor level to match Family Guy's, whereas it just seemed to have blended really well, because with Futurama and the Simpsons. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's go. I want there to be a Simpsons and Bob's Burgers crossover, since that was hinted at the Family Guy one. Let's take it over to fellow Simpsoid, Mr. Onestor Stubbs. How'd you feel about? You can talk about Simpsorama, or you can talk about the Family Guy one.
Well, I didn't fully see the Simpsorama. My bad for being a Simpsons fan. I just saw a bit watching it, and I have to say the Family Guy, the Simpsons, Family Guy Simpsons crossover. That was a lot of fun watching it with my young son, and you know, as you know, he's autistic, and he had a lot of. He especially loved the Bob's Burger cameo. Just laughed out loud, and you know, to see an autistic kid kind of really resonate with that. It's like, hey, he's not even supposed to be here either. What's going on? You know, it was really good in that sense. I'm not so sure, like Futurama. I'm not so sure he understood quite exactly, you know, the crossover there. Val, what do you think? You know, as you know, a parent watching a kid watch that, what do you think?
I just thought it was super adorable. I mean, both of our kids tied The Simpsons in with their grandfather, you know, so it's close to their heart, The Simpsons, you know. I know for a while I was watching a lot of Family Guy, so he would watch with me. In fact, he would go around singing the theme song, and he can barely talk, you know, normally. So just seeing those two things mashed together, I think blew his little mind, you know. So, and then Bob's Burgers popping up, you know. he's like, this is nuts. My parents watch all these shows. What is going on? You know, so it was very interesting to watch. You know, as watching another person watch it too. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And
But,
I would have to say also that I didn't really watch this Futurama crossover. We were in transit. You know, I have an excuse. We were in transit to California, so I missed it initially.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But however, I have to say for some reason I was a little more excited about the Family Guy crossover. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
I couldn't tell you why. But yeah.
Well, how about Mr. Ty Nubus as definitely a Futurama fan, and now that's canceled. Were you pretty excited for Simpsorama?
I wasn't, honestly. I was expecting, you know, because arguably the quality of The Simpsons has gone down over the years.
Okay, yeah,
It's almost.
I agree.
They're on season 26 now, right?
Yes.
So this TV show is older than me, and so yeah, I had my doubts, and I was actually really impressed. I thought it was a really solid episode. I felt like there were a couple of flat notes, but otherwise it was really, really funny, and I enjoyed it. And it was really nice to see the Futurama gang again, because it's been quite a while.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, they're back.
I wanted more Zoidberg.
Yeah. Oh, that's what was missing. I think if it's been a trio of Homer, Bender, and Zoidberg would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he just in it for like a couple seconds and that was it? You know.
It's like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
You can't forget about Zoidberg, robot.
Oh, wait, Tyler does a good one. Do your go-to line from Zoidberg.
Wait, do I do a good Zoidberg? And what's my go-to line?
Your go-to line is, you gotta help me, Bender. You gotta spring me.
Oh yeah. I don't think I can do it. You gotta.
He's
I
on the
can't
spot
do it.
now. He can't.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Trust me, it's
Yeah, but when you do the Zoidberg voice, you have to hold your hand in front of your mouth like Billy West does to simulate the mouth tentacles.
Oh, really?
Young lady, I'm a doctor.
Open your mouth and say, "Da-do-do-do-da."
My mother was a saint.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close. All right. On the whole, I think a lot of what we're saying is pretty much Simpsorama was great, but it was pretty dang short.
It was pretty much fan service, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people really love Futurama, and it's crazy that there's crap on TV now, which is, you know, I'm not even going to go there, but Futurama got canceled. I mean, what? You know, so I wish there was some way that they could combine the two shows and like have it like that forever.
Right.
But yeah, that's not, I mean, it could open so much up for The Simpsons, and maybe the episodes will get better. Who knows? You know. But you know, that's up to Mr. Graining, whatever his name.
Groening, you got it.
Graining. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But,
I have to also add in that the tapped out special
Cross promotion.
Yeah, cross promotion was very disappointing.
Oh,
And
no.
everyone was like, yes, we're gonna have Bender or Zoidberg. We got Matt Groening, so
Ah, lame.
it's kind of lame. And there wasn't anything really cool released, anything Futurama-ish. It was just, yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I got a big queen from Kang and Kratos' planet, and
Yeah.
and she doesn't even earn you money in the tap-out game, so, you know, it's all bullshit.
Is that tap out free? I forget.
Yes.
Nice.
There-
I don't
it's-
have a fancy phone,
It's
so I
one
can't
of
play.
those freemium games, but it's better than the Family Guy game, because the Family Guy game is like, hey, spend money on this, and the Simpsons game is kind of very lax on that, and they give you lots of the premium money anyways, so it's
Yeah, I think Groening has enough ivory back scratchers where Seth MacFarlane.
you never know. Some people keep on going. Lucas. Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. Okay, so bringing up, actually, that's a good segue, Miss
That
Val.
is a great segue.
From Disney into, we can either, let's go first to Age of Ultron real fast to see how get your guys'
Then
reaction on
it's
that.
not a segue. Come on, I'm setting them up for you to knock them down.
Alright, yeah, let's talk about Star Wars then, and The Force Awakens, and how that title has affected your life, as it has affected mine after it was announced. Let's start off with Mr. Stormtroopers himself, red and blue, Mr. Tyler Scott. How do you feel about the Force Awakens title?
At first I was like, eh, and then I was like, eh. It sounds a little cheesy, but then you have to consider that Star Wars is kind of cheesy when it comes right down to it. It's based on the old kind of rollicking space adventure serials of the 60s or whatever. And I think that The Force Awakens is good. It's not too generic, and it's not Attack of the Clones.
That's true. How do you feel about it, Miss Val?
I really don't feel any way about it. I just want to see what the finished product looks like.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel.
The whole naming thing, I don't get the names of a lot of the Star Wars movies. I seem like there could be a better name for most of them, so
That's
it's
true.
whatever.
Yeah, really, they could have called this, like, the shit menace, and I would have still saw it.
The Jar Jar Binks show.
Oh, then there's a problem.
So if I may put in my 2 cents, so then, because I actually feel the same way, Val and Peter, you guys both feel, it doesn't really affect me too much, the name. I just kind of want to wait until I see the finished product, like Val said. But then that brings up the point, the fact that they made a big hubbub about the name itself. Does that mean that, I mean, what does that mean about us, like about fans, and about, like, what is it? Like eye dropping us little bits of information, and we're like clamoring to have it. I mean, is that healthy? I don't know.
I don't know, because when you think of The Force Awakens, you know, it's like we've already had several explanations for the Force, you know, so could it really be riffing off of that, you know? I just like to see where they're going with it, you know?
Maybe they're getting rid of midi-chlorians completely, and the Force is actually awakening to whatever the fuck midi-chlorians were. Hey, they don't exist anymore, guys. Forget about that.
What do you think the title is? You can speculate on this. What do you think it's saying there, Mr. Onesto Stubbs?
Well, I think it probably has to deal with Han Solo and maybe Princess Leia's kids or something. I don't know. The Force Awakening and the new generation of Jedi and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't know if it was actually ever like asleep, you know? it was dimmed in the galaxy, yeah, sure, whatever, but the name is the name, whatever. Tony is right. You know, we are clamoring for every little piece of information we can get from this project. And after the Phantom Menace and all the horror that was the prequels, that's amazing. That really is amazing. You know, considering.
Yeah, really. So yeah, Mr. Tony, what do you speculate about the title, if anything?
Well, maybe they'll set it up going off of the point that Trey was making. Maybe they're gonna set it up so that the Force, I don't know, there's a renaissance, so to speak, of Jedi's in that film, and then they're gonna like do the opposite thing with the Siths maybe in the second movie, and then the third movie will be the clash, the showdown. But that's really speculating way too much.
The Force Awakens, they get together and then they fight.
And then they find the sequel.
Next two ones.
Yeah,
you know what would be cool, actually, if part of The Force Awakens was about Leia and her Force powers.
Yeah.
Because if she and Luke are twins, shouldn't they both?
She is. Yeah, in Return of the Jedi,
and if I'm not mistaken, in the books, she actually does have quite a powers and stuff like that.
She gets a lightsaber in the expanded universe.
Yes.
So
All for that. But
I
you
would-
know what? Carrie Fisher's getting kind of old, though, eh?
So, when you're as awesome as Carrie Fisher, you could do whatever. You know, women, we live old and we still deal with shit on the daily. So I don't know. You know,
I'm pretty sure
I don't
Yoda
think that's gonna matter.
female, I think.
So then the next one.
Oh,
next one
women
will
are
be called
badass,
Star Wars
and they don't give a
with the
fuck.
Cougars.
That should be the next Force title. Force women are badass and don't give. But what were you saying there, Mr. Tony?
Just episode 8, Star Wars, Sleeping with a Cougar.
Very good. Very good.
Oh man.
All right.
Pander to the Sex in the City groups. A new demographic to watch their movies.
50 Shades of Jedi or something.
I love
Well,
it.
no, that's what's it's
50,
called.
50 Shades of Sith.
Is it the Gray Force or the Gray
Oh.
side of the Force? There actually is a Gray Jedi or something. So 50,
Oh, wow.
50 Shades of Gray Jedi.
Nice.
Interesting.
So,
I hear fan
So-
fiction.
going back a little bit to all the entertainment news, the umbrella, what was the... I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, if we can, if we have time, for the Civil War news.
Oh yes.
Maybe we could segue into that.
So there's really big comic book news.
There's a lot.
It's been information overload though.
Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. So yeah, we can skip talking about Ultron and just talk about the way future, which is Civil War. And how, since you brought it up, Mr. Tony, how do you think that is going to happen in the movie verse of things?
Completely different from the series, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
Because the fact that they don't Marvel doesn't have anything to do with the Spider-Man film franchise means that a big subplot of the Civil War series will be missing, and I feel kind of let down by that.
Right.
Because as you know, Peter, I've talked to you many times about how I think if they were able to make a Civil War film, it would be the best gift I could ever receive movie-wise. And so they did it, but not really. So it's I don't know. I'm optimistically cautious, I
Do you
guess.
think they might do something? Well, they didn't announce anything, but do you think they'll do something so crazy as like, there's a fucking Spider-Man movie, we forgot to name drop that one or something?
No, I don't think it's gonna go down that way. I think that I already see like the plot line forming. I think, well, I don't know how. Spoiler alert, or for the comic book, or
Well, yeah, no, you can tiptoe around it. I think what you're getting at is certain images from Age of Ultron are kind of hinting at the Civil War already.
no? Particularly the last scene from the trailer,
Mhm.
showing a certain weapon that a certain superhero uses broken.
Yes.
So I'm wondering what that means.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead and spoil it. It's Hulk's penis.
It's broken. It's not 12 feet. It's 6 feet.
Which means She-Hulk will be in the next one.
Yes. God.
That's on point. You know what, Tony? To cap that on, like when I was a kid, the one movie I wanted made was from the graphic novel, X-Men graphic novel, God Loves, Man Kills, and it actually was the basis of a lot of X-Men United. So it was actually Reverend Stryker instead of William Stryker. He was a televangelist that used Professor X's powers against X-Men, and that is still a really good book, you know. And the movie, so even though they don't have all the pieces needed for the Civil War storyline, I think they might do a good job. So there's that. Of course, you know,
Yes.
Bryan Singer was heading that up, but we do have Joss Whedon. So, I mean, who's going to be who's directing Captain America 3? That's a big kicker right there.
That's a really good way of looking at it. Shoot, I don't know who will be doing that, but that's. I guess. I don't know. I guess the way it should be seen is we're fortunate enough to be able to get some of these subplots.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Agree. And then also going off of like, there's no Spider-Man. There's also no X-Men, like what Trey was saying, and X-Men are a big part of the Marvel universe. Do you have anything to add on to that, Mr. Ernesto Stubbs?
Well, yeah, like you saying, being appreciative that there are actually good movies out there. I could link you to the Fox pilot for Generation X,
Oh,
which was
God.
the first live action. I was just watching the other day. It has Monet St. Croix, it had Banshee and White Queen. Terrible, absolutely terrible. And that's what we had. Now we have good stuff. So I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, like what Trey was saying, Marvel has been around for a while, including back in his day, they had a Captain America. And what else TV shows were on?
Not exactly TV shows, but the movie, Captain America movie, and that really bad Corman Fantastic Four never was brought to screen, but you can probably Google search it and watch it on YouTube. Terrible, terrible film. And and The Punisher, watching Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher late night on like Showtime. That's it. And they were bad, but as kids you're like, okay, that's okay. They did okay. Secretly you're crying, but they did the best they can at the time. Now special effects have caught up, so that's good.
Yeah, so what Onesto Stubbs is saying, we're pretty much spoiled in this day and age, so we should be happy with what we get, I guess.
Bastards, you're spoiled.
Here's my money. I'll guess I'll watch the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anyone else, especially Tide or Val, any other Marvel list of movies you want to talk about?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, you guys covered it pretty much.
Does no one like Benedict Cumberbatch as much as me? I love him.
Oh, I like him, I guess.
Yeah. He's gonna be the next Doctor Strange, so that's gonna be interesting.
Has that finally been confirmed?
Yes, you're a little loud. Are you eating the mic?
No, sorry. Is that finally been confirmed?
I believe so. We're confirming it now. His agent just called me. His agent just called me. He said, fuck off. So.
How did you get this number?
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So Anthony and Joe Russo are coming back to direct Captain America 3. They did the number 2.
Okay, I quite like number 2, so that's good news for me.
Alright.
Wow.
He tried out for the Benedict Cumberbatch tried out for the Doctor Strange role by reciting penguins for several hours.
That would be so awesome.
I do have one last little thing we could add about, and then we can move on. Do you guys believe or foresee in any Marvel future film a legacy superhero? So not the actual main character. So you know how they're gonna remake the Green Lantern? Further down, like what was it, 2020 maybe even? But is that gonna be the same character that they did in the first Green Lantern film with Ryan?
I doubt it.
Yeah. So you're saying if
people
you're
are upset
ever
with that
Marvel
movie, I
do
don't
that?
think so.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I think Marvel is kind of doing that already because they're rebooting Fantastic Four. So maybe down the line we'll have a different Iron Man and we'll have a different Thor and all that sort of stuff.
And I would say if we do get different actors for those, I don't think they'll be reboots. I think they'll just be successors to the previous characters.
Really?
Yeah, because I know, what's his face? Oh, good lord, I'm drawing a blank. The guy who put...
Eric Bana?
No, Chris Evans? Is that's
Captain America.
Yep.
Yeah, I know he's said that he's sick of doing superhero movies already because it's a lot of work, to keep your body in that condition and everything. And so it sounds like he wants to get out. And I know that Robert Downey's days are numbered.
Right. So
we might be seeing a replacement Iron Man, replacement Captain America.
But then would that go along with the actual comic book? Because you know how there's different iterations of the Green Lantern. One with John Stewart. Do you think they would just use the same main character, or would they use a different actual Green Lantern?
I personally think that if they actually rebooted, if they brought another Green Lantern to the table, they'd probably go with Shoot, I don't know. Who was Ryan Reynolds' character?
Nathan Fillion.
No, I'd say they go with the Black Green Lantern. What was his name? I forget.
Oh, Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, yeah, they just go with Jon Stewart because they'd want to stay away from the Ryan Reynolds film as much as possible because I didn't have too much of a problem with it, but everybody just didn't like it. They weren't ready for that, and it wasn't that great of a film.
No.
Yeah. So, talking about DC, since you brought up, let's go switch over to that list of movies. Especially, I want to talk about Suicide Squad, but is there anything anyone wants to talk about the other movies that are announced for DC that they are interested in?
Well, we should probably do a little bit of discussion on because there's been so much recent Batman news.
Oh.
So maybe we should talk a little bit about that.
Away there.
Well, I'm itching. Okay, so it relates to the Suicide Squad because I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to spit out is I don't know how these movies are gonna interact in the DC film universe. Because if we're gonna see a film that's gonna include, Batman versus Superman, obviously, and then we're gonna have what the rumors are about the Suicide Squad is a very prominent enemy of Batman in that film. How is everything gonna coexist together? I don't understand.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and bring that up. So the Joker, speculations of who the Joker is going to be in the Suicide Squad is Mr. Jared Leto. And then they also announced a Harley Quinn, and I forgot the actress's name, but she was in The Wolf of Wall Street, and she played Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in that. And
is that the one that shows her memories all the time?
That was a bit loud.
Open it so close to your face. What did you say?
Is that the booby girl from Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes. Yes. Which I'm excited for as Harley Quinn.
You're excited for the boobies?
Yes.
Why
not?
For comic book boobies.
Yeah, and then also Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is going to appearance in Suicide Squad.
Do you guys? I don't know. Is it just me, or are you guys confused? Because I don't. How are things gonna work? Like, are we just gonna pretend that these characters don't exist in the same universe? Like, are they just gonna do Batman is gonna be like, well, I'm gonna have my own Joker in my own universe, and then this other Joker is gonna exist in the Suicide Squad universe? I don't get it.
What do you guys think?
Well, I personally think that the Nolan stuff is going to be a one-off. So.
Oh yeah, Nolan's done. They're doing their.
So
Man of Steel started a new continuity, I believe.
Right. So I guess if we get Jared Leto, hopefully that'll be in that continuity. Otherwise, DC is so spread apart that I don't think the continuity that is going to be there. So I'm just going to get what I'm going to get. I don't think that there's going to be continuity at all.
Right.
Okay, so just treat each movie independently.
Yeah, we're kind of left in their hands, I suppose. I don't know. I think my vision is that after Suicide Squad, they might do a Batman standalone, and then maybe Jared Leto will be in that, maybe. But I wouldn't hold my breath about that. I don't know. I really trust Marvel and what Marvel is doing with their movieverse. We have yet to see anything come from DC that's going to be anything concrete.
Except for Man of Steel, which broke a lot of concrete.
How do you feel, Tyler, of the DC movies, or even Val, if you guys want to talk about like Wonder Woman or Aquaman?
I'm actually very excited about Wonder Woman because so far in this little superhero renaissance we've been having, there haven't been any standalone movies for a superhero win, so that's kind of exciting.
Yes.
And it sounds like they're actually going to stay true to her origins. So she's, was she the daughter of Zeus or something, isn't she?
Daughter of yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
How do you feel about that, Val?
I'm for it. So.
Are
Yeah.
you kind of disappointed that Marvel's not doing sort of a standalone woman movie?
You know what? I'm not gonna bother them about that because they are doing the Black Panther movie, so
That's very
I'm
sweet.
gonna let them see how they do with a black male superhero before I let them touch any boobies.
Do you think they'll ever do like a She-Hulk or like a Black Widow movie at all?
I want them to so much, but it's a male-centered society, so
Yeah.
and
Although
they want money.
in that same vein, I am kind of intrigued by the Cyborg film that'll happen in DC.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll be interesting to see.
Right. Definitely. Do you want to say anything about Black Panther, Trey? Because I know you really like Black Panther. Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
we talked about it. We talked about it. I got hair now. Yeah. We talked about it in the Galaxoid Nebula podcast, but really, the guy they picked seems all right, and hopefully, I'm just just optimistic about the future. So hopefully everything works out pretty good. The concept art was really rad. It stayed true to the comic roots, even with the little necklace that he has. So it looked high tech, and it looked just like the comic, which is what they need. He needs to be as high tech as possible, because if those of you aren't very familiar with Black Panther, he's really like you can think of him as smart as Batman, with like as much technology as Batman, but with the financing of a whole country behind him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nice.
So, and as good a fighter as Captain America.
Sweet.
That sounds amazing.
Speaking of Batman versus Superman, I'll lead us off with Tony. What are your expectations for it? Like, if you give it a number 1 out of 10, how well do you think it's gonna do?
For which one?
For Batman v Superman.
Oh man, it's certainly. Jesus, I wish I could just judge it on the merits of Batman versus Superman alone, but aren't they saying that they might have little snippets of Wonder Woman and
Right.
possibly other superheroes, almost as if this is like Justice League Part 1?
Yeah. Do you
So-
think it's going to be as like to the same level as the first Avengers movie?
Oh God, I don't know, man. If that's what they're shooting for, they're aiming really high for. They're writing a lot in this movie. They're putting a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, this is kind of important. Who's the company that owns the DC rights? Film company.
Warner Brothers.
Warner
Yeah,
Brothers.
didn't Warner Brothers like do a mega exchange for like a bunch of their properties?
Did they exchange some property? Really?
Well, yeah, like, and I think that included for that. What is that new sci-fi movie that's out there that was supposed to make big money?
Interstellar?
Yeah, this is actually kind of important.
Oh, do you know anything about this, Trey, having gone to see Interstellar?
I don't know if they exchanged any properties, but I'm
They did.
googling it right now.
Yeah, they did South Park. I remember that's for sure. They traded South Park and a bunch of other properties.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I forgot they had the South Park
And-
movie.
Oh God, see, look, they did
That's
South
using
Park.
your ass, Tony.
South Park, Friday the 13th, and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. That scares me a little bit. The fact that they were able to, or willing to trade all this valuable property merchandise line for just
wow.
Interstellar, that makes me think that maybe they're not really expecting to make a lot of money off of a Batman movie, which is ludicrous to think about because you would think
Yeah.
Batman would bring in a lot of money. So that point kind of scares me.
That is ridiculous.
Comments? you have thoughts about that, guys? Or is it just...
I'm just shocked. Basically. Wow. I didn't know any of that information, actually. Wow. All for Interstellar, too? There was an exchanging of rights? Whoops.
Yeah.
Right.
What-
We can link to this article on the website.
Yeah, we can do that.
They got in on Interstellar money by handing over Friday the 13th and South Park rights, among other things.
Yeah.
Which is
exactly.
weird because I didn't really think Interstellar was that great of a was that big of a movie or anything like that.
They were. I guess they were banking on it to be like the next Avatar, maybe, or the next. So
I don't know why.
Is that so? Yeah, to everyone who hasn't been on our Tumblr, Trey posted a review of Interstellar himself, and we'll just ask him this real quick question: is Interstellar the next Avatar?
Is it the next Avatar as far as box office money making? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it the next Avatar as far as mind blowing for people to watch it? I hope not, because it's not really that mind blowing. So if you think that's mind blowing, you need to watch 2001 and like read some books or something.
There you have it, and you can see more of his rant at zombies2aliens.tumblr.com. Nice.
All right.
All right. So before we go, we have a couple more. Oh, we'll do one big topic and then we'll get out of here. Mostly because I want to talk about it. It's been on the interwebs. I never thought this day would be. Well, I actually did kind of think this day would be possible. But anyways, there's going to be an Evil Dead show with Mr. Bruce Campbell, and it's coming onto Starz Network.
Now, does this mean we're not getting Army of Darkness 2?
Exactly the point, sir. So what I'm sort of hoping is that there is going to be sort of Army of Darkness 2 that maybe will happen after the show, and the show is just trying to create more popularity for it. That's what I'm thinking. But what do you all think is going to happen in the Evil Dead show?
I think there will be someone trying to swallow someone's soul.
Probably a safe bet.
Is it going to be a floating witch? Because if
Swallow your soul, swallow your soul.
And I think there's going to be a talking moose.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be great. I wish they had done that in the remake of the other one, but nah.
Or like in that one.
Hand at it for quite a while, and that was it.
Or in that one video game, he had a dead-eyed zombie midget as a friend. That'd be awesome.
Which really didn't make very much sense, but
No, not at all. So what do you guys think? Yeah, Tony, Tyler, and Trey.
I'm not really sure, honestly. I'm not that familiar with the Evil Dead universe.
But
so-
you saw the remake, right? The Evil
Yeah.
Dead new one.
Yeah.
You think the show would kind of connect to that one at all?
I don't think so. I think this is gonna be a continuation of the original films. I think maybe they're gonna wait to see how the TV show does, to make a call on the films. Maybe.
You know what I was just thinking, since we're just talking about Evil Dead? What would make a great show would be like a Cabin in the Woods show. That'd be awesome.
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
focusing on the people who worked there, I think,
Yeah,
because then you would get to see the
I think
variety.
there'd be a
of
monster of the day. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Would it be a
Yeah.
monster of the week, like Smallville, or would it be of like per episode?
I don't know. There's a lot of monsters
There's a lot in
and
there.
stuff that they could use. So I mean, they wouldn't have to stick with like, you know how like Once Upon a Time just sticks with like, you know, Disney classics. They could go into like Greek mythology and like Chinese monsters and lore and stuff like that to bring out all this random stuff. You know, I'd like to see an episode with that one demon from Japanese culture with the big face on the back of her head underneath all her hair. I think that would be interesting.
Freak, man.
Haven't seen too many movies with that, so
Okay, so what did we coin this podcast? So we got Cabin in the Woods show. What else did we say? Crush. We make Monsters Inc. Crush.
Crush.
Crush is great because it's orange soda, and who loves orange soda?
We're trademarking that now.
Soda.
Anyway,
I like that, Val.
but Mr. Ernesto Stubbs being definitely seeing. Did you see the original Evil Dead in the theaters at all?
No, actually, I just
Okay.
haven't seen the original just Evil Dead 1, 2, and all of them on late night TV, actually.
Oh well, I was gonna give you more credit, but
And truthfully, Army of Darkness was out. I actually watched my first time watching Army of Darkness was at Comic-Con, believe it or not,
oh wow.
in the Marriott there, right next to.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, how do you feel about?
Well, I'm hoping Evil Dead series. Hope maybe they can get Jeff Donovan in there. Bruce Campbell can be like his burned notice self, maybe a younger Ash. He's throwing through the hoops. He's just like an advisor because Bruce Campbell's getting a little bit older. I'm not sure if I want to see him still as Ash, but who knows? He's more of a wiser old dude now. I think he plays that part well.
Yeah, he is.
That could work. You have them like old wizened Ash, with his antique saw on his hand, and he's like polishing it and giving advice to the newbie. I think that would be interesting.
Or
Listen, baby, you gotta get an axe to kill it.
rusted gauntlet or something.
And then, like in one scene, he takes it off and hands it to the other kid who just lost his hand. Boom! There you go. Ideas.
There you go. Okay, wait. First episode. Kid loses hand. Ash gives it to him. Okay, we got that.
It's like, you lost a hand, so what? I lost a hand twice. What do you want me to do about it? Come here, give me some sugar, baby. That's my girlfriend.
So you were about to say something, Tyler. I think I cut you off.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to take this opportunity to tell everybody that if you have not seen the director's cut, I believe it's the bootleg edition of Army of Darkness, you need to see that because I'll just say that the ending is significantly better than the original ending.
Yeah, it's in the deleted scenes in the DVD also, actually.
Oh,
It's-
okay, cool. But yeah, definitely watch it with the new ending or the
Yeah.
good ending.
Yeah, you'll see. And then
We're not spoiling anything if we ask it.
Oh, I can't hear you,
ending.
Trey.
oh, you're breaking
Okay,
up.
never mind. Oh, sorry.
You got eaten by a deadite.
My bad. I didn't know what the good ending was.
So that's gonna be it for us here at Zombies2Aliens. Please keep it tuned for our individual podcasts, including Galaxoid and Nebular, which will be appearing eventually, and also riffing with a couple of 90s guys with me and Tony,
That's right.
Mr. Kirkades, and also we're gonna start up some more with me and Val Lynn, which is a work in progress now, but I still want to call it Playing with Kids.
Oh God.
I'm still pushing that title, and also with Mr. Ty Denubus, we're going to start an adventure cast where we're going to talk about role-playing games, card games, and tabletop type games.
Hooray.
All right, that's going to be it here from us, from Zombie2Aliens, where we like you for your brains. Sully, you want to take us out now?
Kidding. Hey everybody.
How's it going, Val? Any more Renaissance fairs, or done with that for now?
There's a couple in California, but yeah, we only go to California to visit you guys, so.
But nothing you're a queen of out here, just the queen of the biggest one.
I'm just the queen of the night.
Oh, even better.
Like Whitney Houston, except crack is whack. So.
Yeah. I like to call myself the Bishop of Sunrise.
Actually, I've got a new title. It's Duchess Honey Trap.
Oh, you win. You win.
It's her steampunk name.
Well, Trey has one too, so I'm not alone.
Okay, then also with us as always, and there are no strings on him, is Mr. Ultron himself, Mr. Tony, also known as Kirk 80s.
What was the first pseudonym you gave me? Mr. what?
Mr. Ultron.
Oh, cool. Yay.
There's no
Yay.
strings on you.
No, not currently.
Yes.
Dang it. What a weird introduction.
How's it going, sir? Any watching more 90s, shows right now? Cartoon shows, anything like that?
I was watching some Keenan and Kel earlier.
Oh, yeah. I saw on Facebook, on the Zombies2Aliens Facebook, we were following someone, I forget who, but they posted that Kel is alive and well and still likes orange soda. Constantly quotes Bender saying, that's using your ass. How did you feel about the Simpso-rama?
I thought it was really good. Obviously, I've already made my reservation about it, and it's too short, but I don't know, I guess how else were they supposed to do it? They're limited to the half-hour format, seeing as how they didn't want to make it into a TV movie, which maybe wouldn't have worked out as well if they had done that. But I liked all the little references, like Seymour, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
I also liked, I really liked that that the writers were able to poke fun of themselves, like they did during the Futurama, or not Futurama, but during the Simpsons/Family Guy one, where they said that, like, for example, Bender is essentially just a robot version of Homer. So I like that they were able to, like, do that, like, yeah, we kind of ripped ourselves off.
Yeah, they definitely. What I thought you were going for was in the beginning where the Futurama ship flew off and it had the little tagline that it said, a show without episodes teams up with a show without ideas.
Yeah, that's like awesome that they're able to, like, be honest about that. That's cool.
Yeah, and then being a huge Family Guy fan yourself, how do you feel about the comparison between this crossover episode with the Family Guy one?
Shoot, I'm not sure if they can compare, because they are, even though they do have the link, which is The Simpsons, of course. I think they're completely different stories in terms of the reason.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's apparently also, like, a Christian, like, hardcore, but that's not a problem. Just saying, like, it's interesting, like, the way his life flipped around. Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to happen is for there to be a Mystery Men 2, where he comes back as the Invisible Boy.
That would be awesome. I'm down for that.
Ben Stiller,
cool.
get on it. Alright, so, and then also with us, as always, is Mr. Tide, the captain of Not Your America, Tide Anuba, so also known as Tyler.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
How's it going? Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Oh, I was going to do that, but I used it before.
Yes.
And
So you're
I
not
guess
imitating the mating call of the humans.
I guess if we brought up Toy Story 4,
Oh, God!
which is
Oh
gonna
my
happen.
gosh,
That's a
yeah.
thing.
Okay, so basically this podcast, this big group Zombies2Aliens official podcast, is we're going to go over all this entertainment news that's been happening, one of which was, of course, Toy Story 4, but I would like to start off with, as a Mr. Simpson fan myself, I wanted to start off with Simpsons-O-Rama, if we could.
Isn't it just Simpsorama?
I'm sorry, I mispronounced. Simpso-Rama.
Also known as the greatest, shortest story ever seen.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So yeah, Mr. Kirk 80s as fellow Futurama, and Simpsons fan and a man who.
Or the rationale behind putting these two shows together. I think you pretty much summed it up perfectly, saying that Futurama is canceled, and they decided to make a Simpsons crossover because The Simpsons has done everything, as the South Park episode said once. But Family Guy and Simpsons, I think were more of a blending because maybe many people felt that there was too much similarities, so maybe they had to go out and put them side by side to show how different they are, the humor that is, because Family Guy is more raw and more dirty, whereas you could call Simpsons more innocent. So maybe the rationale behind putting the two shows together was to show, there's a difference definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And they also kind of, I think The Simpsons kind of did the Family Guy crossover one for ratings almost, because Family Guy is doing better than The Simpsons rating rise, I feel. And it seemed like the Simpson humor kind of meshed with the Family Guy humor, because Homer was doing some pretty outrageous stuff in that episode.
That is true. It seems like maybe they brought up the humor level to match Family Guy's, whereas it just seemed to have blended really well, because with Futurama and the Simpsons. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's go. I want there to be a Simpsons and Bob's Burgers crossover, since I was hinted at the Family Guy one. Let's take it over to fellow Simpsoid, Mr. Onesto Stubbs. How'd you feel about? You can talk about Simpsorama, or you can talk about the Family Guy one.
Well, I didn't fully see the Simpsorama. My bad for being a Simpsons fan.
This episode of Zombies2Aliens is brought to you by the cool and refreshing flavor of Crush.
Not actually endorsed by Crush.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm your moderator, James P. Sullivan, also known as Mr. Brightside. And with me, as always, is let's go to the other one who has a video chat and who has a different hairstyle today, Mr. Onesto Stubbs.
Hello.
And this is, of course, because he was brought back into the world because of his rebirth that was on the Galaxoid and Nebula podcast.
Yes, I guess you come in this world without any hair, and apparently the bottom part of my chin grows hair faster than the top part of my head.
Alright, and then with him, as always, his spouse and his significant other, his actual heterosexual life mate, Melissa, the real Black Widow.